Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. For today's video, I'm going to be grading every single Detroit Pistons first round draft pick since the year 2000. If you guys do want me to do this for other teams, leave a like on this video and let me know in the comment section below which team I should do next. You know, man, it's just kind of fun to take a trip down memory lane, look at hindsight and see how things worked out and all that good stuff, right, man? So yes, I know some of these are not going to be good. It's not going to be a good time, but it is what it is. You know, sometimes you nail the draft pick, other times you don't. And a big part of it, too, is always like the players that were drafted after the guy that you selected, right, man? But as you guys can see, 2000, pick number 14, the Detroit Pistons selected Mateen Cleaves. And yeah, man, I was just looking at this dude's stats. I know he does like commentating and stuff like that. I don't know if he does anymore, but I know he was like working with the Pistons and stuff like that. This dude was an F-, bro. Like literally played one season in Detroit, 5 points per game, career average of 3.6, you know, which is about, you know, a little over double of Skip Bayless's, you know, high school stats. But damn, was this dude garbage, man. 26% from three up. Bro, you a point guard now shoot no damn threes? I guess it was the year 2000 and everything, but you're gonna average 0.8 assists per game? Like, is there more to this story? Maybe I don't know the full story of Mateen Cleaves, man, but that's an F-, right here, okay? And then they took Rodney White in 2001, pick number 9. Rodney White, yeah, man, let's check him out real quick here. 2002 to 2005, scored 3.5 points per game. So, damn, man, the Pistons definitely very early on in 2000 was not drafting the greatest players in the world. Once again, we're going to hit this one with an F-, man. F- draft pick. And then here we go. 2002, pick number 23, out of Kentucky, Tayshaun Prince. Tayshaun Prince is one of my favorite Detroit Pistons of all time. Yeah, I remember Tayshaun Prince, you know, in his rookie season, you know, pretty quiet kid out of Kentucky and everything like that. But, you know, I know there's talks up in there about, like, what if the Pistons would have drafted Carmelo Anthony or Dwayne Wade? Tayshaun Prince and his defense and just his ability to play into the role of the Pistons, so damn important for them winning a championship. Like, you know, I think of Tayshaun Prince as almost like that jack-of-all-trades glue guy type of player, man. That's just going to do all the dirty work up in there. I mean, obviously you got Ben Wallace doing the dirty work too, but Tayshaun Prince, and not quite an all-star level, doing it. And so important, man. Tayshaun Prince, pick number 23, get him right there. That's a damn A++++, man. All right, then here we go next. Pick number 2, 2003, Darko Militants here, man. Now, I will say real quick here, let's take a look at Darko's stats, because for what it's worth, he didn't have the worst NBA career in the world. Like, his career overall was not horrible. It was horrible for where he was drafted at, but he was a decent shot blocker. You know, for the Pistons, he was 18, didn't do anything at all. And the big issue here was obviously they had Rasheed Wallace, you know, Ben Wallace up in there. And Larry Brown wasn't like the type of coach to develop young players. I think Darko's confidence was killed very early on. And I don't think he was extremely passionate about the game of basketball in the first place. But, you know, eventually got, you know, went around to a few different NBA teams. I remember, yeah, he was pretty solid this season, 2010, 2011 for Minnesota. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks per game, backup center type of stuff right there. Definitely not worthy of the number 2 pick. One of the biggest busts in NBA history. Like, that's an F- every single time. And then 2003, 2005, we got Carlos Delfino. I was pretty big on Carlos Delfino out of Argentina. I don't know, man. I liked watching the Olympics and stuff like that. I was a big fan of his. He never really panned out to be the player that I was hoping he would have been. But he was a solid role player at the very least. I give it like a C- draft pick. You know, it was the 25th pick, so pretty late in the first round. But Carlos Delfino, he was kind of cool. Next up, we got Jason Maxiell in 2005. So, we didn't get going on Ronnie Stuckey here. Jason Maxiell, dude was like damn 6'5" on a good day. Could throw down some crazy ass powerful dunks. He was fun to watch. He has one of my greatest memories of all time watching him block Tyson Chandler against the New Orleans Hornets, you know, years ago and everything. Once the Pistons started going south, Jason Maxiell, I believe, was getting some starter minutes, and it didn't really do much for him or anything. He wasn't that great of an NBA player. He had good moments. I think he ended up going to the Magic and being a starter or bench player over there over time. But yeah, high energy player. That was about it. You know, man, very ugly jump shot too. He tried knocking it down. It wasn't happening. And then we got 2007 pick number 15, Rodney Stuckey, man. People was telling me straight up this was going to be the next Dwayne Wade. And he was a big reason why Chauncey was traded away, because over time they wanted to give the reins of the team to Rodney Stuckey. And, man, the dude just wasn't it. Ronnie Stuckey was a shot chucker. The dude played like he was drunk 24/7, never in control of the game. It was totally different than Chauncey Billups' ability to control the tempo and everything. And actually, the next guy picked here, Aaron Flallow, pick number 27, 2007, he was a guy that the Pistons should have gave a chance to, because Aaron Flallow actually turned out to be a pretty damn solid NBA player. He had some solid seasons, I believe, on the Magic, and also the Denver Nuggets. Yes, man, I know his, Aaron Flallow, 2 R's O-N. Okay, Aaron Flallow, yeah, man. So yeah, didn't really do much for Detroit. Went to Denver though. He had a solid NBA career. Like, yeah, right here on the Orlando Magic, probably a near all-star season for him, averaging 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. Pistons definitely chose incorrectly in that case, but it's not the first time they did that. Look at guys like Chris Middleton, right, man? It seems like the Pistons, they always give a chance to the guy that doesn't end up panning out. So maybe something about having that chip on the shoulder, something to be said about it. 2008, DJ White. Oh, by the way, Aaron Flallow. Oh, I'm sorry, Ronnie Stuckey. C+. Like, he wasn't the worst player in the world. Aaron Flallow, I mean, it was a good draft pick, just not for the Pistons. So I'm going to give that one an under, we didn't really see much out of him. So not much to go based off of there. DJ White, yeah, trade to the Thunder, so trade away. Not much to go off with that. Oh, goodness. Austin Daye, D-. Man, I will say, as far as players that I was hyped as hell about, Austin Daye was one of them. 6'11", could shoot the basketball, would be perfect in today's era of basketball, but was working out with guys like Kevin Durant. Man, Austin Daye, one of just the dude was skinny as hell, man. I'm getting kind of triggered thinking about Austin Daye, and just, yeah, dare I say F, man. He was garbage. He had the body to be great, too. That's the worst part about it. He had the body to be great. Number 15 pick. Next up with the number 7 pick, you go with Greg Monroe. So Greg Monroe on the Detroit Pistons, a pretty interesting story. There was once upon a time, if you looked at his plus minus or per whatever it is, he was actually the highest in the draft class with the exception of James Harden. It's just that, this was really the start of the small ball era where guys like Greg Monroe, who were definitely like post-eccentric type of players, just not really a sought out anymore. Had some really good seasons with the Pistons. Like, I will give him that. I mean, it just wasn't a guy that was going to lead to winning basketball, though. And by the time he knew his role in the NBA, the type of role he really excelled at just wasn't utilized anymore. Dude couldn't really play any defense or anything, so you couldn't really put him as center. Yeah, he could grab some rebounds. He was kind of maybe like a poor man Zach Randolph, and that was about it. I'll give him a solid B, though. It could have been worse here. He still had some nice seasons. I'll pay respect to bitch-ass Monroe. Brandon Knight with the 8th pick in the draft. The human highlight reel for all the wrong reasons, or you might call him the human lowlight reel. Brandon Knight had a sexy jump shot in Kentucky. I remember seeing them being like, okay, this is a dude that could maybe be a little Vinny Johnson here, man, a little bit of a microwave, give some instant offense to the Detroit Pistons. He didn't do any of that. Let me look up his stats here, because I don't want to give him credit, man, if he did put up some solid numbers on some seasons, but overall, this dude just was not it. So, yes, looking at his first season in Detroit, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Following season, 13 points, 4 assists per game, ended up was traded away. And, came back in the 2019-2020 season, averaged once again 12 points per game. Some solid seasons in Milwaukee, but, he was all right. I mean, obviously, he's one of those cases where it's like, damn, they could have drafted this dude, or could have had this dude, and just wasn't worthy of where he was drafted at. But overall, I'll give him maybe a C+. Andre Drummond, pick number 9. Similar case to Greg Monroe in the sense that just the type of center Drummond was years ago would have dominated, but he was at the tail end of just how he dominates the game, just not really sought out anymore. And obviously this led to the lineup of Josh Smith, Greg Monroe, Andre Drummond, one of the stupidest lineups ran in NBA history. But I mean, Drummond he was an all-star for the Pistons. No, they didn't win basketball game, but he was fun to watch at times. Drummond was fun to watch when he played to his strengths. Excuse me, man. He was fun to watch when he played to his strengths. When he started trying to shoot threes and do like a little baby hook shot that was ugly as hell, that's where it really fell off. Could have been worse though. Drummond, I'll give him a solid B+, and the reason I say that is the Pistons made the right choice with him eventually of trading him away, so it didn't really hinder the team for years and years and years. There was really this period of just where Detroit basketball was just, Drummond put up numbers and didn't really lead to anything. I'll give him a solid B+, though. He was one of the better draft picks of the past, 20 seasons. KCP, 8th pick. This dude was drafted to be a star type of shooting guard in Detroit. KCP had some nice scoring seasons for the Pistons, but overall, we knew over time he was a 3-and-D type of role player, which you're really not looking for that type of pick in number 8 overall. Ended up winning a championship with the Lakers and stuff like that, but as far as a Pistons draft pick goes, pretty underwhelming. Like, I didn't really hate KCP. He just kind of was the definition of mediocrity for the Pistons. I'll give it a solid C. I'll give him a C on it, man. So I'm going kind of based more off of like not who they ended up not getting, but more so based off of what they were for the team. I think that's a fair way to look at it because hindsight and everything, that's how you have to do it. Oh, goodness. Wow. We got back-to-back, man. Back-to-back. Okay, 2015 pick number 8, Stanley Johnson. One of the worst damn players of all time, man. I cannot stand Stanley. Between him and Kyle Singler, man, and even, damn it, Henry Ellenson. Ooh. Stanley Johnson just has so many bad memories with me as a Piston fan. So many years of just waiting for this guy to do something, looking at him, just be like, oh, Stanley Johnson dropped 72 points in the G League, only ending up to be just, dude had no damn jump shot whatsoever. That shit was a brick every single time. He always looked drunk on the court, man. F-. And Henry Ellenson, you are putting the double L in Ellenson, man. You are right there with him as an F-. But this was just a stupid pick in the first place. Like, Henry Ellenson, he was fine at Marquette. He would nothing really to write home about to get the 18th pick right there, man. I think he was drafted to be like some stretch big in an era where that type of player was starting to be more sought out, but dude just couldn't hold, man. He couldn't do anything else. Yeah, he can kind of shoot maybe a little bit. I don't remember his overall shooting stats. I barely even want to look at him. Henry Ellenson. Yeah, man. So, okay, yeah, one season when he was traded where he shot damn 45% off 2 attempts, which is actually pretty nice. For the Pistons, he couldn't really do much, though. Yeah, complete bust. Complete garbage of a player. Man. F-. Okay, next up we got Luke Kennard. So, obviously, Luke Kennard is a player that I like quite a bit. I like him because I feel like he was underrated a lot because obviously, Donovan Mitchell being drafted and everything like that. But overall, Luke Kennard, one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. I think he's a solid playmaker. As far as the Pistons go, he was fine. Like, he was fun to watch and everything. I think the biggest thing about Luke Kennard that Pistons fans can agree on is that, well, he did lead to the trade that brought us Sadiq Bey. So, that's going with that. But just looking at Luke's early on stats with the Pistons, a role player, let's call it like it is, man. He's a role player, but yeah, he had this 2019-2020 year at Detroit where he played 28 games. I think he had a knee injury that season, but still 16 points, 4 assists per game. That was kind of his peak. Obviously with the Clippers, he's a role player and stuff, has had some really nice moments, but 4 rebounds, 4 assists right there. Could have been worse, man. Luke Kennard, I'll give him probably a solid, B-. I'll give it a solid B-. Dr. Doom, Sekou Doumbouya, I still wish he was given more of a chance. He's still an extremely young player, but obviously he wasn't a guy that Troy Weaver really believed in, which, when you do get a new GM and stuff like that, you want to put your guys into your system. But Sekou Doumbouya, it says right here, man, he was F. He didn't do anything. He's out of the league. Like, not a type of guy you want to get at number 15. Killian Hayes. So the pick number 7 for Killian Hayes is what's going to lower his draft grade. I would say Killian Hayes, if you do not watch Pistons basketball, you would look at him as a bust. I think if you do watch Pistons basketball, you very much recognize that Killian Hayes, yes, he's not aggressive. Yes, his scoring needs a lot of work, but he has a lot of other aspects of his game that's just really things you can't be taught, man. I feel like his defense is really good. He's got really good length. He's got just really good passing instincts and things like that. It's just the aggression and maybe getting a few consistent type of moves and stuff like that going to the basket will really do him some well. He's got the body to be more aggressive, so that's kind of the infuriating part about his game, where it's like, dude, you got the NBA body to make some of those, make some of those aggressive moves and things. I think it's kind of undecided with Killian Hayes. Next season is really going to be the big difference maker. I'm going to say a C. I'm going to say a C. I'm going to give him a C. I was going to say no, C minus. I would say there's been more concerns with Killian than not, so I can't give him average, just below average. C minus, still hopeful. Beef Stew. Beef Stew's been pretty cool here, man. I like Beef because, unlike Andre Drummond, like Drummond, I gave him a decent draft grade and stuff like that, but you weren't winning games with him. Like with Beef Stew, he's not trying to be the best player on the team. He's trying to be aggressive. He's trying to even adapt his game by shooting threes and things like that in the summer league. I've really liked the Beef Stew draft pick. I'm going to give him probably a solid, I'm going to give it a B plus. I like that draft pick a lot, and I think he's somebody that can play that 4 over time, and he's going to really embrace that part of his game. I like it. And then number 19, we got, back in 2020, Saddiq Bey. I believe he was the best listed small forward of that draft class. Give him at number 19, though, man. Trading away Luke Kennard to get him on the team. Dude had a 50-point game last season. I'm going to give Saddiq Bey an A minus. I absolutely love Saddiq. And yeah, he's just one of those guys you look at and be like, wow, that's going to be a guy that's going to be around the NBA for a solid 15 seasons, putting up probably, anywhere from 15 to 20 points per game. It's kind of what I see with him. Next up, we got Kade Cunningham, man. A+++++. I think Kade Cunningham is one of the most underrated number 1 overall picks in recent memory, and I think a big part of that is because he does play for the Detroit Pistons, and as far as their watchability and stuff like that, it's one of those cases where he's going to get more respect as the Pistons start winning more games and start, packing in the Little Caesars Arena and everything. But I think last year a lot of people weren't really paying too much attention to Detroit in the first place. But oh man, Kade Cunningham definitely was the right choice. Jalen Green, Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, I feel like all those players ended up in the destinations they were meant to be at. And the same thing about Kade Cunningham. He was meant to be a Detroit Piston. It just makes a lot of sense. A+++++. And finally, we got 2022. We got Jaden Ivy. Still a lot to be remained with him. He was the best listed guard in the draft, so you got to give it A+ for that. But obviously, a lot of undecidedness because we've not seen him play yet. But as a Pistons fan, I was ecstatic getting him at number 5. So yeah, happy about that. And then Jalen Duran, pick number 13, one of the better centers in the draft class himself. A little bit more traditional, kind of DeAndre Jordan, Rudy Gobert type of mold. But yeah, I'm going to give it a solid A-, man, just because, the center position, it's differently played, and Jalen Duran doesn't exactly fit that exact mold, but he's still going to be, I don't know, I think he's going to be a defensive anchor for the Pistons, so I'll give him a solid A-, but hoping he can maybe expand his offensive game a little bit. But that is all we have for this video here, man. If you guys want me to do this for other teams, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.